Greetings and welcome to my week's end ramblings. The image on the screen is what happened to me less than an hour ago. Um, we had a parish school fair day, and three of the people involved in the school and the parish, two teachers and myself, were dumped with slime. It isn't a photo of me getting slimed. It's actually what I looked like afterwards. So I thought I'd just sit outside the image for just a moment so that you would see what it looked like before I start to tell you what happened in the rest of the week. I can assure you I look nothing like that now. I immediately headed off to have a shower to try and clean the slime off. Not an easy thing to do. So, welcome as I gather to talk about this last week. Um, Last Sunday, obviously, we had our parish masses. And then, as always, we have a bit of a community gathering after Mass, which is quite a great time for people to get together and just share some of their stories. In the afternoon, there was opportunity from all around the south of the state for people to visit vineyards called a series called Spring in the Vines. And it ran last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So on Sunday afternoon, Terry and I headed off for a quick visit down to Chatto's Wines at Glaziers Bay and then Kate Hill at Huonville. Both were excellent experiences and had a chance to talk to winemakers at both centres who had fascinating stories to share, and we enjoyed sharing with them as usual. Then on Monday morning, I had my normal Nativity small group with a group from uh, Baltimore and shared with them for some time before heading off to midday mass at St. Aloysius, followed by a time of adoration and then on to my communion round. The end of Monday was a little bit different because Terry and Mark and I then headed off to Tolpuddle Vineyard to their tasting room. We had an excellent experience there last year, not long after it opened, and we had another good experience today with a little bit of food to help us as we tasted the 2018 and 2024 vintages. Um, Both the 18 Chardonnay and the 24 Chardonnay had won the best wine at the London Wine Show. So it's an excellent kind of journey. From there, I headed home and sat down and had a little bit of a rest because it was, as you might have heard from last week, a hectic week. Tuesday morning, I finally managed to catch up with our school principal, Paul Reedy, and we had a chat for a little bit of time before I then quickly headed off to see whether I could have someone look at my phone, because every time I get in the car, I actually have to go into settings, into aeroplane mode to turn off the Wi-Fi linkage or Bluetooth linkage, put it back onto normal, and then it would connect to the car. Unfortunately, because my phone is attached to the Archdiocesan account, I couldn't do anything about it. And that upset me a little bit. But anyway, after that, I got onto the Archdiocese and they started to help me through. It's working sort of, but there are still times when I have to turn it off through airplane mode and turn it back on again to get it to connect. So I'll have to talk to somebody, see if I can find somebody who can actually look at it rather than do it something remotely. The rest of the afternoon was doing some work on my homily because I'm on retreat next week. So I needed to get a fair bit of work done on the homily this week. And then on Tuesday night, we had a final meeting, just checking up on details for the fair that is being run, just concluding today, and and then just to admit that yes, I would be willing to join in the activity of being slimed. Mass on Wednesday, parish team meeting, then my ramblings, homily, and then on Wednesday evening we had a remembrance liturgy for those who have died in the past 12 months, whether from the parish or relatives and friends. And so we had a number of people who joined us, and it was a successful celebration. And I think those who came felt that it helped them and gave them support. On Thursday, I spent most of the morning working on my homily for this next weekend, really. And then I had my men's group, Nativity Small Group Men, before having a bit of a rest in the afternoon, and then heading off to the Mary Aikenhead Ministries Mass at St Joseph's, followed by a dinner with the pilgrims who come to Hobart. A group of pilgrims come twice a year to celebrate the story of the Sisters of Charity and their work in Tasmania. Friday morning was the school mass, but before that, I had a chance to greet some of the Mary Aikenhead ministry team as they came to look at the Sisters of Charity convent, one of the first establishments for the sisters here in Tasmania. And then later, I headed over to the school because they were celebrating a kind of festival weekend, having school and buddy activities yesterday, and then the colour run today. I'll talk more about the colour run in just a moment. Yesterday afternoon, I did my recordings for my homily this week and my emails for the next 2 weeks. And later, after recording this, I will also record another ramblings for Wednesday of this week, because on Monday we head off on the clergy retreat. Last night concluded with a time of adoration, which was particularly beneficial for me, and I found it quite a restful and peace-filled time. Saturday morning, and started with my monthly spiritual direction. The phone connection wasn't that good this morning, and for the first 20 minutes or so, it was quite off-putting as we struggled to find a good connection. Saturday morning started with spiritual direction, which was really good. And then I went over to school and just wandered around and did a little bit of help setting up some of the little things, not much, for the school colour run and fair that was held today. As I said before, it ended for me with the sliming, as you can see, partially on the photo. It's not a pretty look, and I have to assure you that I wasn't a pretty look either. But anyway, that was how it went, and so we had that. So the rest of today is just finishing up, tidying up a little bit of work. I just had a phone call from the girl who is our parish secretary at Ulverston, Devonport. So she's going to call in shortly. So I'll do some editing, put this up on the web, and we'll see how we go from there. So that was the week. A different kind of week, but that's all right. That's how life is. Please pray for the clergy of the diocese. Many of us will be on retreat this coming week. So please look up, pray for us, but look after yourselves and keep in the presence of God. And as always, when you share your faith, do it with a smile. It confuses them.